Hello, welcome to another episode of Playing Telephone. I'm Scarlett Sanchez.
I'm Dennis Kluba.
Dennis, how's it going?
It's good.
We're both in little funky moods today.
We are in some weird moods, but that's good. Honestly, compared to last week when we were rushing around trying to get everything done for Thanksgiving, I feel better.
I know. Welcome back to us being more normal, I guess.
Reality, our normal setup.
Yeah.
Even though we're still in the holiday season, so we're gonna have to do something similar again come Christmas time, but we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah.
We're not even worried about 1 week in advance is too much for us.
No, 1 week at a time. We got this.
Exactly. But your mom's coming in town, even though you just saw her. That's fine.
Listen.
Didn't even ask about it.
Yeah,
so guys, see my girls.
Okay, yeah. And my sister's coming too. Just saw her as well.
She coming.
So my mom's coming tonight, and my sister's gonna come in a couple days. We're gonna go see Ricky Martin,
right?
Enrique Iglesias, and Pitbull.
I remember that concert was a
tour.
hot ticket.
Yeah, I don't think when we bought them, we realized how close it was to Thanksgiving, and then we saw. And we're like, oh, okay, see you in a couple days. My mom barely even said bye to me yesterday. She's like, I'll see you soon.
Yeah, I don't even care. That's good though. I'm excited. We didn't really catch up during Thanksgiving. That's fine. Whatever. Not a big deal.
No.
Not a big deal.
You went out though for Blackout Wednesday.
I did. I was out there.
Saw some friends from home.
Yeah, did my thing. Had some fun. Not too much fun though. Yeah, but it was a good time.
All right, good.
Speaking of people that were back in town for Thanksgiving, Taylor Swift was back in the United States.
She just got back on Monday. Did not make it back for Thanksgiving quite yet. That was the original plan though.
Yeah.
But obviously after she had to postpone that Saturday show to Monday, she wasn't able to get back as soon as she was thinking that she would. That was after that fan had passed away.
Right.
When super hot temperatures in Brazil. So she moved that to Monday. That was also supposed to be the day that her parents were supposed to meet Travis Kelce's parents, but had to rain check that as well. So yeah, the hot couple of the year had to miss out on Thanksgiving, but they plan to do Christmas together. But yeah, Taylor had her last Eras Tour concert of the year in Brazil. Actually, that fan's family went to it on Sunday. She invited them, took photos backstage and everything.
Weird. Not inviting them.
Yeah.
But I would not be in a place.
Yeah, I feel like it is a little bit soon. I think that was Taylor's way, I
think you have to do it.
Yeah.
But also, as a family, I'd be like, oh, thank you, but also
we like
just
to
lost
decline. Yeah.
a member of our family. Can we get a different set of tickets, in a year?
That's true. That's a good point. Let's wait a little bit.
Literally, we're grieving. I'm not trying to listen to Shake It Off.
It is more local, though. So maybe since she was going to be in Brazil, then her next shows, she picks back up in February for Tokyo. So I don't know if she's going to really be in that area again.
Well, at my same time, though,
Taylor, logistically.
Taylor can't pay for flights for 3 people.
Hey, you're making very valid points here.
I'm just saying, however they want it, it's their lives and Taylor's situation. So if they're happy that that's how they went about it, happy for them.
And also, sometimes I don't want to call it celebration of life because she was so young, but maybe they felt like
she would have wanted that.
She was such a huge fan of Taylor Swift.
Swiftie. Would want people to be there.
Yeah.
So. Regardless, like you said, she just finished the 2023 Eras Tour part of it. Then she picks back up in Tokyo in February. So we're guessing that throughout this time, kind of what we have here is that Daily Mail said that she's going to be staying with Travis in KC, which is what... Oh, my God.
What are you going to say?
I was going to compliment you and say, you said that. When we were talking about where would they go, you were like... Oh, or the new $6 million mansion that Travis bought in Kansas City.
You're right. I did call it.
Because we were saying, we're like, is it going to be New York? Is it going to be Rhode Island, Pennsylvania? And you were like, or that new mansion in Kansas City.
Yeah, because he did get that in a more secluded area so that they could have their privacy. And there was a moving truck outside of his house today. Daily Mail reported that she's, quote unquote, moving in with him. That's a stretch. It's only for a few weeks. Maybe, though, until February, ? That part, we don't know. They didn't say a timeline necessarily. And also, I will say, the moving truck, yes, it is a little bit interesting. It came on the same day as Taylor, but Travis just moved into that home as well. There was furniture coming out of it. Odds are Taylor Swift is not bringing her couch with her.
Right.
She'll probably be in the bed. Travis?
All
Doesn't
right.
need it?
All right.
So yeah, I'm thinking though, don't you think that's probably Travis's things?
Well, when you get a $6 million mansion, it's almost like there's a lot of things you have to furnish, right? So I'm thinking that,
Who would have thunk it?
it's probably going to be a lot of furniture that just has to be in there.
Right.
But at the same time, I don't know. If you're somebody like Taylor Swift, you probably have some very particular things that maybe you want to get too. So maybe she just tacked on to the list of items.
Can you imagine like her full like Eras tour like outfits just start coming out the truck?
Oh my God.
Comment is a Chief guy on the Chiefs.
Like we said, not high maintenance.
Okay. Settle down.
I don't think
Dennis.
she's high maintenance. I'm just saying it would be a lot. And once again, I don't know. I know where you stand. You obviously think this is cute and
I'm
fine
loving this.
and amazing. Not too early, I mean, they're not moving in.
Listen.
It's just a little holiday.
Okay, they were originally linked back in September. Odds are, though,
A little bit earlier.
probably
August.
earlier.
Yeah.
He shot a shot back in July. I'm sure they connected a month or so later.
Right.
Started talking. Okay, so we're in the 3 to possibly 6 month mark here.
Yeah.
They are both very busy people.
Right.
He's in football season. They live in different cities. Why not give it a little 2-week go and see how it is? Am I
Yeah.
going to get bugged with you? See how we cohabitate. Doesn't mean we have to be at each other's hips 24/7. She'll probably jet set to New York. Maybe they'll take a little vacation. So I don't know. I kind of like this.
Yeah.
Would I move in with someone though this early permanently? Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. I'm in the same boat that you are. I think that it based on their situation specifically, where they are in these crazy different schedules, and she does have this time off. It is not unbelievable to me to be like, hey, for this next 2 weeks, let's just have fun. Almost like a little extended vacay.
Right?
Yeah, more like an extended sleepover.
So cute. I wonder if her parents will now come to KC instead. Well, they were going to go to KC for that game.
Right.
So maybe they'll come to KC for Christmas. We'll have a little family affair for the holidays. Jason Kelsey might come too.
Well, it is not even December 1 yet. So my question is, with her being there, but also having off until February, like you said, are they going to is it Christmas in KC? Because also both of their families aren't from there. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like the Kelseys technically are in, I think, Philadelphia, or Cincinnati maybe originally.
I'm not sure where he's from.
Regardless. Well, it's Cincinnati. It's Ohio.
Okay.
But like, does mom and dad Kelsey still live in Ohio there, or like?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just it's a logistical situation.
There will be some travel arrangements
Yeah.
regardless for both families. So I could still see it happening though.
For sure.
They were all going to come for Monday Night Football. Like, what's the big deal if they just move it to Christmas or something? Yeah, it's a bigger holiday and everything, but they're probably going to spend time with their family anyways. So why not do it in KC? And like you said, Taylor can probably fly anyone. I'm sure Travis can do the same.
Yeah, like I wonder if they can afford it.
Yeah, might be tough.
I wonder if they can make the logistics work.
Yeah.
American Airlines?
But there have been reports that they really want to spend the holidays together. So I think that's definitely in the cards. Families might be a little bit more tentative, but I could see it happening, to be honest.
I think too, I'm rescinding my position a little bit. I'm taking back a little bit of what I said. You said earlier that
You're on board now?
when you're a little bit older, things do seem like they're allowed to move a little bit quicker. And in this case, maybe we're not in that position at our age. A very quick, hey, meet the fam, do this little 2-week sleepover situation. Obviously different because they're both massive stars. But the being a little bit older and being like, hey, doing these types of things, and like I'm seeing it a little bit more. All right. I don't want to hear you. What are you gonna say? Told you so, or what?
No comment. I'm glad you're seeing things
More clearly.
more clearly.
Okay. But when
The Scarlet Way, aka more clearly.
the Scarlet Way. Somebody coined that. Copyright the Scarlet Way. But then he was at TJ's, Trader Joe's in Kansas City.
Apparently he was getting her ice cream or something. There was videos on TikTok of him there just packing up the bag. No one really bothered him, which is nice. He did his thing. People were freaking out, obviously, seeing him. But got her some ice cream. Because there's no photos of Taylor landing or anything, which is crazy. She went straight to his house.
But straight up, like, what world are we in, though? Like, it's bizarre. It's like such a, like a juxtaposition of $6 million mansion, Taylor flying in from Brazil to go to Kansas City, but Travis going to Trader Joe's himself to go buy ice cream.
What do you want? They're real people, Dennis.
They're not real people.
They're just like us.
Meet my family.
I'm going to Trader Joe's after this. No.
Send your assistant. It's so annoying.
Yeah. No, I mean, I guess I get it, but Taylor didn't go out with him. She's not going to Trader Joe's.
No.
He is.
I just feel like I don't know what it's like for him in Kansas City there, but exactly, like, I'm just surprised that he wouldn't be like, hey, like, can you go pick up this ice cream for me?
Yeah. Especially when she just got there.
Yeah. I don't know. Interested.
I like it.
Yeah,
Sweet.
It's fine.
Active service. What's your love language? We talked about this.
It's foreign. Huh? The love language is a foreign language. Oh. I don't really know.
Do you know what they are?
Yeah.
Quality time, touch, words of affirmation, acts of service, and gifts are the 5.
Yeah. I don't really know.
Really? I feel like your quality time and words of affirmation.
Could be. I don't know. You'd know better than I would.
I'm quality time and acts of service and touch.
I definitely think acts of service.
Gifts.
Okay, you're
just kidding.
Every single one.
No, those are my top 2, though.
Regardless, we'll see what happens over the holidays, where they end up spending Christmas, if they're spending it together, if the family comes to KC, if they're jet setting all across the country. I'm sure, based on the publicity we've seen over the past months, we will find out.
Oh, yeah.
Where they're going.
We will know.
Oh, we will know.
And hopefully we'll see a little bit more.
Oh. Okay. But, sorry, this is like my favorite story of the night. Blue Ivy.
Yeah.
Beyoncé, Jay-Z's daughter.
Yep.
I remember this, and I felt very strongly about this when it was happening. When she was doing the Renaissance tour, and I think it might have started was it in the Europe portion?
Yeah, her first show on stage was May in Paris.
Yeah. And
so it was back in May we talked about it.
All of those, Blue Ivy gets up, dances on the stage. She's only 11 years old. People were giving her a lot of praise. It's Beyonce's daughter. I was a bit on the hater train and saying, surprising. I don't think that she would be up there if she was not Beyonce's daughter.
Totally. I mean, Nepo baby.
Yeah. And apparently other people felt the same way as I did. Mm-hmm. And she was a little bit not hurt, but she was motivated by the hate comments.
Yeah. Yeah, she was. Beyonce talks about this. Her concert film just came out in theaters over the weekend. And in it, she talks about how she was dismayed by how Blue Ivy was reading all these hateful comments online. But exactly what we said, it is pretty cool that she ended up really stepping up her game. She wanted to focus on her dance moves instead of letting it kind of bring her down, which we don't know her exact emotions. Like, I'm sure it probably stings a little bit. I would hate to be reading all that stuff about myself online.
What do you think we do?
No.
Every week.
It's painful. Stop it, guys.
Hurt my feelings. I've been working on my dance moves. Nobody notices.
Yeah, and then it was a huge difference. Their last show was in October, just last month in Kansas City, actually. Funny.
Kansas City.
Funny that it was there. And huge improvement. I would say when you put those 2 videos together.
Side by side,
it is
noticeable.
I would say huge difference. First one, a little stiff. Not much coordination there.
She's 11.
She is 11, though. Mm-hmm. I feel like I wasn't bothered by it because I was like, it's so cool that she's 11 and she's out there. Yeah. She's there to support her mom and everything because it was originally just supposed to be a one-off. Right. She wasn't supposed to join her, but she also challenged herself to continue to go on tour with her mom, which I think is great. In terms of like the Nepo baby comments, yes, absolutely. She wouldn't be there if it wasn't for Beyonce and Jay-Z, especially at 11 years old. Like, most people aren't getting discovered that young to be going on such a huge, massive tour like Beyonce. But so that's why I also think that when she did decide to step on stage, like, she was opening herself up to critics. Like, I feel like she has to take that criticism, and, looks like she did take it with stride, though.
For sure. I think, too, it's kind of interesting. We were talking about this a while back with Beyonce and Beyonce specifically.
Yeah.
Talking about how she is hardcore in a good way. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, she's a perfectionist. She wants things to be perfect, which we've obviously been graced with all of the hits, all of the performances, now the movie, like, you know,
Yeah.
entertainment. She's a great entertainer. I'm guessing a little bit too. Obviously Blue Ivy gets that from both of her parents, I'm sure. That drive, hard work to want to do better.
Right.
But also, like, I bet Beyonce was probably like, hey, I want you to do this. I'm excited for you to do this. But I bet she was a little bit like, yeah, put it in the work. Don't you see Beyonce being kind of a tough mom in like a tough love kind of way?
Yeah, and I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I think about my dad coached me in soccer.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a lot of tough love. I mean, I would cry after some of my soccer games if I didn't perform well.
Yeah.
So, not that that means like that Beyonce was mean.
No.
I mean, sure, maybe in that moment it felt mean to some of my things my dad would say, like, come on, score the goal, Scarlett. Yeah, whatever, all that is. But no, you're right. I'm sure that she maybe did. But Beyonce also in the film, I haven't seen the film yet, but she did the New York Times. The New York Times reviewed it and made comments about all of this. And Beyonce had originally didn't really want Blue Ivy to do all of this. And maybe because she was thinking, you are going to be a subject and be criticized. Yeah. So, good point, though.
I completely agree. And that's the thing, too, where part of her, I'm sure, was protective mother of, hey, you don't really understand this as an 11-year-old, but not everyone is going to be pumped that you're out here, just so you know that. Which is also another interesting point, is just as these stars that we grew up with have kids and those kids get older, it's interesting in like social media age, we look at the Kardashians with North. And obviously now Blue Ivy kind of getting to that age where they're beginning to have their own things, their own personalities, their own TikTok accounts, stuff like that. It's like, not everybody's gonna love you. And I'm sure that like them growing up telling them, hey, like people are gonna say mean things. And it's hard to like protect them from that world, especially when they want to do big things.
Especially being in entertainment, exactly what you're saying. Like, I know with Kim, she turns off all the comments. That way North isn't exposed to all of that. And North is right around the same age as Blue Ivy, if she's not the exact same age. I think she's 11 too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, props to Blue Ivy. That's tough. I just am in awe that she's 11 years old. Honestly.
I just think dance moms. Beyonce is one of the dance moms. Abby Lee Miller Dance Company.
What a cool thing, though. Yeah.
Abby, put my girl in. But you said the movie premiered obviously on Saturday.
Yeah.
A couple different celebs pulled up. Where did they actually have the premiere? Was it in LA? LA or New York, I'm sure. Destiny's Child members, Lizzo, Tyler Perry, Ava DuVernay, Issa Rae. It's kind of interesting. Just with this movie premiere, like, it's just a weird time. I feel like with Beyonce and Taylor Swift owning the box office a little bit, like we said, like it's weird. I don't know.
Yeah, it is definitely a change. They can't, I know we always have little debates about Oscars and who can do that. Technically, I don't think they can win one, though. Anyways, though. But yeah, Beyonce showed up at Taylor's premiere at the Grove, but Taylor didn't show up to Beyonce's, which makes sense. She was in Brazil. I saw some comments and I was like, oh, wow, Taylor didn't show up to Beyonce's. Too good to show up. I know, I didn't really take it as anything like that. But, yeah.
I don't really know their relationship. I'm interested in it, though. I would think women supporting women, girls support girls. But also, they are kind of right now, don't even know guys even in the conversation. They're the top right now. So 100%. I'm sure there is some friendly competition. You know, of like, I don't know. I just see them being like, like women supporting women, but also like, I want to beat you in the box office and I want to do.
I would think so. Like, I would want to be at the top. But I think it is so cool to see, like you're saying, two women really dominating. That maybe it's a little bit less in this moment just because it's cool to see both of them owning things and doing such amazing work right now. But yeah, because it was cool to see Beyonce at Taylor's. I think it would have been awesome to see it go both ways, but obviously she was on tour, so.
Well, I'm kind of surprised that she did that. I don't know. It's like they're almost such big stars that you'd be like, oh, I'm not really going to support like the other person. So it is interesting.
But I think that also like spoke to what we're talking about too, that clearly
there is love there.
There's love there.
Yeah.
There's support there too. To the biggest names. But yeah, it looked like it was a great event. There wasn't. Beyonce didn't even do the red carpet though, which is interesting. She just went on in and watched it with everybody.
You don't even have to when it's you.
I know.
I'm just a fan.
Well, because at the very end, New York Times said that too. She's like, I don't, not that she doesn't care, but what did she say? She said, I have nothing to prove to anyone at this point anymore. Like, I don't know.
Heard.
Yeah, that's her thing.
Okay. But let's talk about this look.
Yeah. So because she wasn't on the red carpet, but the only photos were really, it was just a few. Donatella Versace posted it because in her outfit, she was wearing silver, that platinum metallic look that we saw a lot for Renaissance. A lot of the outfits were like that. It really became the theme for that show and for her concerts. And then she also had the platinum blonde hair as well, which got some backlash online.
Yeah.
It was mainly people questioning her, like, did she bleach her skin? Did she purposely lighten it? And
her literal skin?
Her actual skin.
But did she look lighter than she
Her skin looked a little bit lighter, but Beyonce is naturally lighter skin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but Beyonce didn't do that. And her mom came out and defended her. And also, I think with like the lighting and also that kind of metallic, I think based on the lighting, it probably made her look a little bit lighter.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
Especially, depending on the angle of the photos, the lighting, everything going on. I definitely can see that too. Also, okay, I mean, we have talked about this before with musicians. Most notably, I would say Ariana Grande specifically. Yeah. I just think that literally in this comment, I have nothing to prove at this point. Beyonce can do whatever she wants to do.
Yeah.
And she would never need to pander to any specific group of people or any specific race in this case to be more liked. That I'm like, for people that are coming after her, I'm like, do you really think that she's thinking about that?
No.
Or thinking like
and she's also such a person that celebrates herself as a black woman too.
Yeah.
So it's not something that she would do. So I don't really know what people were thinking going after her for this. I think she celebrates all people too. So yeah, like it was a little bit off base, I think.
I feel like I don't really know what people are thinking anytime they come after Beyonce. Like, what's best case scenario out of this, you know?
That's true.
Like, what are you going to say?
That's true. But Beyonce didn't comment on any of it. Her mom was the one who did it. And essentially, she was just like, stop with this hatred. Stop with this jealousy. Every time that my daughter does something well, you guys come for her for no reason. And she was not about it. She called out different websites, TMZ specifically, and was just saying that a white woman had called and was feeling like she was attacked, and they're just spreading this narrative that is completely false. I will say though, like whenever outlets reach out, typically they tell you what happened and then they ask for a statement in response.
Right.
So I don't really know what that conversation was, but yeah, Beyonce's mom was not having it. And she even said in the end, she's like, I know Beyonce will probably be pissed that I'm even saying anything, but I'm getting tired of all of this. And I think it was great. I mean, her mom standing up for her daughter, I think it makes total sense.
Yeah, it makes complete sense. It's interesting. I mean, at some point, it's almost one of those things too, where Beyonce as an adult, they're both adults, but at the same time, it's like, I just feel like she has so much class and grace that I doubt that it really bothered her even that much.
Yeah.
That when mom steps in, it's like, Mom, don't worry about it. Like, people are gonna hate. Like, they always do this. They're always gonna have something to say that it's like, it's almost like when your family members get mad about something when you're not mad about it and you're like, hey, why do you care if I don't care?
Yeah.
You know, type of thing.
Yeah.
And not that I'm saying that she was wrong for defending her daughter.
Yeah.
Clearly, go for it. But also, Mama Knowles, don't worry about it. Like, who are these people?
And Beyonce knows who she is, you know, and she doesn't need to take
Come
these.
back.
Yeah, exactly.
Clap back at anybody or like even give it light. Give it
Beyonce.
Air. That's what I said. Coming for her, it's like, what do you want to get out of this?
Yeah.
Other than maybe 10 minutes of fame for yourself as the mean person that's trying to tear down Beyonce.
Cool.
You're cool. But we just mentioned the Kardashians and a little bit about, you know, their family dynamic. And this was kind of weird because Kylie, basically, right, was having a chat with Jennifer Lawrence
Yeah.
for Interview Magazine. Would never put those two together in the same room.
Yeah.
But just brought to light a little bit about her and Jordyn Woods' relationship.
Yeah.
Because that was such a piece of contention, I feel like, especially given the relationship between Kylie, Jordyn, Tristan, and then Chloe, when all that stuff was going down.
Yeah, that story is still crazy to me, honestly. Clearly, Kylie and Jordyn have moved past this in ways. But yeah, back in 2019, I mean, also feels like forever ago, but I guess 2019 is kind of a while ago. But yeah, back in 2019 when Tristan and Jordyn apparently hooked up at that house party and cheated on Chloe for the millionth time. But yeah, near the end of the interview, Jennifer asked, hey, like we saw that you and Jordyn are hanging out again. They were hanging out at Fashion Week. We saw them back in July getting sushi together.
Right.
What's happening? How did this go on? How's your guys' relationship is essentially what Jennifer said. And Chloe answered and said essentially she never really cut off Jordyn. They took a little bit of break in their relationship for growth, for forgiveness, whatever the exact words were. But they've been almost in a way also hiding and still catching up regularly, seeing each other and are in each other's lives. But by July, once this year rolled around, they decided they no longer wanted to hide it. They're okay with it being public, that they are still friends.
First question. In this interview process, that had to be a question that Kylie wanted to talk about or wanted to answer. Yes?
Yeah.
That was talked about and discussed before the interview actually happened, right?
I mean, yeah, I'm sure. The answer is still very vague, not extremely detailed.
Right.
She called it a learning lesson and everything happens the way it's supposed to. So it just looks like they had a riff in their relationship. She had to stand by her sister, obviously, as she should. But Jordyn is a huge part in her life and was, I think, almost like a sister to her, to be honest, too, which I think is what caused that more difficult decision, because Jordyn, they'd been friends for years and years and years and children.
Right.
And yeah, she was put in a tough tough place. I will say that. But
how much you believe in this? How much you believe in that they were still in contact, still talking, but they also limited it a little bit because they needed time to grow, be their own people. Kylie was so dependent on Jordyn. Where are you at?
It's so hard because if somebody did that to my sister, you'd be cut. But then the only other factor is the fact that Chloe forgave Jordyn. So exactly what you were just saying with, hey, mom, like, why are you coming after someone when I'm cool with them? If Chloe's okay with Jordyn, why wouldn't Kylie be allowed to have that space for one of her best friends, sisterly friend?
It's true.
So, yeah, personally, I don't think I could really welcome this person back into my life, but...
Yeah. Okay. My thing is they talked about hiding, being in private. My thought process on this is, do you remember when, like, those pictures came out that magically disappeared of Kylie and Timothy and smoking cigarettes like in the garden, and then they were magically gone.
Right.
If they were hanging out for for years privately, you're telling me that nobody ever saw her leaving the house, coming and going?
I believe it because, one, Kylie is super private. When do we ever really see Kylie that much? The most we've seen her is because she's dating Timothy, because she wants us to see her out with Timothy.
Okay.
These Kardashians have so much control of their narrative. When they want to be photographed, they will be photographed. So I think that, and also she said a lot of times Jordyn would come over to her house and they would chat just at her place. So it's not like they were really going to public areas. The only thing is, yeah, they could totally be photographed. A car in her driveway. We saw that when her and Timothy first started dating. So yeah, there's little pieces that maybe would put the puzzle together, but I'm not that surprised that they were able to keep it private.
Okay, that's interesting. I was just a little bit under the idea, I don't know why you'd lie about that, but it's hard for me to believe that we never once caught them sneaking around and doing that. And then why did they decide that at whatever point that they did earlier this summer that they're like, you know what, we're not going to hide this?
I think they decided to hide it because I think Kylie would have gotten a lot of hate. What are you doing with the woman who cheated with your sister's man? I think that would have just played out poorly for her reputation with the public. And Kylie does kind of have that reputation of like, she's the loyal sister. She's got her sister's back. Right. So I don't think it would have played out very well for her. Right. Why did they decide to suddenly be okay with it? I mean, they were really just always friends and they got tired of not being out together.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good point. I don't know. Remind me on the actual, number one fact that completely went over my head. Tristan was only 27 in 2019. Yeah. Why has he been around for 50 years?
He's young.
He's literally been around for 50 years. Number two, during that party, when we did see the photos that came out between Jordyn and him, did they actually, do we know, was the idea that they actually cheated, or was it solely the photos of like her sitting on his lap and some making out that we saw?
Sitting on his lap, and then they admitted to making out. There was no, they never admitted to sex.
Right. That was the thing that I was thinking a little bit. Understandably, you're still going to be pissed off.
Yeah.
But is there a little bit of severity of forgiveness? Like, I feel like the sitting on the lap, I mean, that happens, I feel like, in friend groups across the country, across the world.
Your friend groups.
All right. All right. I'm just saying.
If you had a girlfriend and I was sitting on your lap, your girlfriend would be like, WTF.
Yeah, she wouldn't be happy. But it's, but if it's your best, but if it's her best friend or whatever.
I can't think of a time I was sitting on your lap.
I'm just saying that is like, that stuff happens where it's not okay, but it's a little bit less severe than the full on cheating.
Okay. The only thing is sometimes people say, oh, it's almost worse if it's just a kiss. That's more intimate.
True.
I don't think I stand by that. If you're fully like,
you're in there
engaging.
Yeah.
Engaging. I have more problem with that, right?
Yeah. Because you're probably kissing too. It's probably a double whammy there.
Yeah. So.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm just, kiss in the club. It's happened. I think that the severity a little bit, I'm sure after a while, not that they laughed, but when Khloe forgave Jordyn, it was probably like, hey, what were you thinking? What were you doing?
Yeah.
But also they're probably like, common denominator, we hate Tristan. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, but
that's
then,
what we've been saying.
But then we see Khloe so happy with Tristan all the time, amicably co-parenting. But I just feel like she has so much love for Tristan still. And, cut him some slack. He was only 27, right? I'm kidding.
If I was cut slack.
But yeah, in that recent episode, though, Kylie and Tristan finally talk about it.
Right.
On the Kardashians. Tune into all new episodes. I can't believe that show's still going on. But no. They talked about it and he apologized to her because he was like, I know I put you in a really tough position too. And Kylie talks about kind of what we were just saying. Honestly, Jordyn and I are kind of good now. I was having more trouble with the fact that you've cheated on my sister so many times. Understandably. So kind of what you're saying.
That sucks.
Let's hate Tristan.
Yeah, like let's look at who the
main young. Problem Maybe is. He's grown. Okay, he also had a conversation with Courtney, too, in one of these recent episodes where he explained where he never saw a healthy relationship and in his parents and everything. Obviously, his mom just passed away recently, but growing up and everything, and he felt like he didn't know what that was. I'm sorry. I think that excuse is just terrible.
I thought that you were going to level with that.
No.
Just because you've seen people cheat doesn't mean that in your own mind, you're like, that's okay.
I almost feel like that makes you want to change,
switch
be better.
Back so much harder.
Yeah. I do think like if it was, like an abusive thing and everything like that, I think that really impacts someone with trauma.
Right.
But still, like you can still turn that around.
Well, you know what's right and wrong.
Exactly. He's basically saying, I don't have a conscience.
Yeah. Because I saw this as a kid, I have no free will to do it.
What's right or wrong?
Yeah.
Literally.
Sleep with everybody.
Yeah.
God dang.
He needs a new therapist.
He needs a lot of help. But obviously, hopefully that whole thing is washed over. Like we can see Kylie and Jordyn are now cool. Mm-hmm. And you mentioned Tristan and Khloe still being amicable co-parents, happier than ever. But in that same kind of vein, Paris, most notably, I feel like friends with Kim at the time, way back when.
Yeah, back in the day.
Had her second child.
I know. Paris Hilton, a little good news here. She's talked about how she wanted to be a mom so badly. We found out that she had her first baby back in January, baby Phoenix, a boy.
And that was
via surrogate.
Okay, surrogate was the first one.
Both of her kids are surrogate.
Okay.
Yeah, we've never seen Paris Hilton pregnant. She's always looking great.
To the nines.
Yeah, I mean, you can look great pregnant too. But anyways,
hey.
Yeah. I'm just saying, we never saw her out pregnant. And yeah, so just, what is that, 10 months later, January? What are we in?
Yeah, it's November.
So 10
months later.
Yeah, so 10 months later.
Two different women?
Oh, I don't know the details of the surrogacy. I would imagine.
Yeah, how would that even work?
That's not possible. I mean, yeah, it is possible.
It's possible, but that's a tough
turnaround.
Tough on the body.
Usually, I think it's different women. Yeah, but on Thanksgiving, she posted a video of Phoenix and saying like, "Oh, are you excited to be a big brother? And are you gonna take care of your new little sister?" And then she also posted little baby clothes and said like, "Welcome London." So the baby's name is London, which is cute.
London Tipton.
Yeah. Paris, London. You're not a fan?
Ugh,
That's why I did it. Yeah.
How
did you not notice that?
I knew that there was some connection. Now Cities? I hate it.
She's probably been wanting to name her kid London for her whole life.
Somebody gets Paris, somebody gets London, and then the other person gets Phoenix? A little unfair, Mom.
Yeah, Phoenix.
Hey, I'm Paris. I'm London. I'm Phoenix.
I'm St. Louis.
That's the meanest thing they could have done.
I feel like city names are becoming kind of popular. Or they were popular. I feel like they're kind of coming on the down, actually.
But the thing is, everything that Paris Hilton does right now just feels like a callback to 2005. So it's like she can get away with whatever she does because it's like, oh, I was just like doing a 2000s thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like she like isn't. I feel like she is like in the present, but also isn't.
I get what you're saying.
Like she's right now, but also all of us are just like, yeah, but Paris Hilton 2005.
I will say those videos though, I see her a little bit differently. She does seem more in the moment. It's kind of cute.
Well, didn't you say in that documentary that she was basically like playing a character?
Yeah, I think her life felt like, she's been playing a character.
I don't know. Paris she's a walking soundbite. That's what I love her for.
That's hot.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what. I hope her kids are happy. I hope Phoenix doesn't have a complex because
he's pissed that he didn't get a cooler city.
Yeah,
I think Phoenix is cool though. Never been there.
Phoenix is fine. Phoenix is cool.
It's not London though.
Yeah, it's not London or Paris probably.
Two of like the greatest cities in the world.
And I'm Phoenix.
But yeah, that's pretty much it with her. She does. I haven't seen any of her show, Paris in Love.
That's
but
fine.
Season 2 is coming out.
Okay.
This week.
I won't be watching.
Tune on in.
This is an ad.
We're actually sponsored by Paris as we make fun of this
little baby Phoenix.
Oh my gosh,
he's gonna be my favorite.
Yeah, he's really cute. Okay, she keeps putting him in hats though, and I'm wondering if it's because of, remember the not backlash, what would you call it? People being so mean to her little baby and saying he has such a big head. So now he's in hats a lot.
All the time. It's hard coming out of the womb and having to be a hat guy.
But she hasn't posted anything of this new baby. So people were in the comments like, don't let the hate stop you. We want to see your baby still.
We won't say anything about their head.
And then the TikTok too of Phoenix with the hats on. They're like, let the head be free. Like all of these comments.
That is horrendous. That is terrible behavior. Good God. In a more serious note, here's an update. Serious note. The update on Diddy. Mm-hmm. So stepping down as chairman of Revolt TV, which
he owns.
I didn't even know what was that?
Media, television network. Yep.
Okay.
He's a chairman of it.
Do you subscribe to Revolt TV?
In 10 years ago. No, it's on your TV. It's not like, I'm sure maybe they have streaming now, but
Yeah, no, but like what shows are on Revolt TV?
I've heard of it before. I can't list you there.
I've never heard of it before. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, you've never heard of Revolt TV?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, well, welcome.
Not a major news.
It's been around for 10 years. They're actually celebrating their 10-year anniversary.
Not with Diddy, they aren't.
Not with Diddy, though. He decided to step down. Essentially, what's been happening now, last time that we talked about this, Cassie had accused him of sexual assault, rape, human trafficking, just horrific accusations. They ended up settling it very quickly, under 24 hours. And after that, though, yeah, he might have settled his case with Cassie, but 2 other women came forward and also accusing, one was sexual assault, another one was rape, back in the 90s, though. And now he's deciding to step down as chairman of Revolt TV. So I'm thinking these cases might be taking a little bit longer to settle, and they're probably not going to be as quick and easy as the Cassie case was.
Yeah, I just think that it's a little bit scarier, I would say, for the other 2 women. Glad that they stepped up, especially given Cassie coming out, speaking her truth. Mm-hmm. I'm glad that they are stepping out, accusing him of these actions. My thought process is because Cassie and Diddy had that relationship for so long, and like I said before, that's what for me made it so true. Yeah. Is like the deeper, the longer it goes back, if it's from the 90s, I feel like it can be harder to prove without he said, she said situations getting in there. And so that's what scares me a little bit of, do you want to be dragged through the mud by Diddy's lawyers on trial, or is it just going to settle out of court? I don't know.
These could potentially go to trial.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, but we talked about this last week. The reasons that a lot of people at times don't want to go to trial is because they don't want to relive that trauma. They don't want to potentially have all of that aired out, and then the law team be so good from a massive person like Diddy. It's like, oh, well, you made me nervous. You made me uncomfortable. I rescind all my accusations, and I feel worse because of it.
Yeah. I do think that with Cassie coming forward with it, it probably gave them, this is really their only opportunity.
Right.
They could do it at other times, but having a big name come forward first, I think it can gain that momentum and have them come forward too. So I think that they'll just have to make the decision if they're going to be okay with the trial or not.
We mentioned this last week too, where we were like, the more people that step forward, the more it goes against his character. Like, it's not a one-off.
Yeah.
Because I think when it's a one-off, people are like, well, like, who knows? Mm-hmm. But then if more and more people come forward, it's like, well,
absolutely.
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah. And they are similar accusations. One of them was Joy Dickerson Neal. She said that he was sexually assaulted her on camera, which is similar to how Cassie had said that he had filmed her having sex with male prostitutes. And that was when she was in college in 1991. And another Jane Doe, who wanted to stay anonymous, had said that Diddy and then Aaron Hall, who's a singer-songwriter, took turns raping her and her friends around that same time too. So similar stories.
Across the board.
Yeah, and lining up with Cassie. So
Jesus Christ, Diddy.
I know. Actually, one person that works for Revolt TV, she's a podcaster, ended up stepping down. She's like, regardless of if these are true or not, I'm believing their truth and I'm out. So I think we'll maybe see more people stepping away. I think that the fact that he's temporarily stepping away from Revolt TV, by the way, they really wanted to emphasize the fact that this is a temporary thing, maybe until these cases do settle, which could be a long time. But again, his lawyers were adamant that this does not mean that he's guilty. He is doing this because he wants to prioritize the network's success, the network's mission and everything. And he wants to make sure that he's not impacting that network. But still, I think that it is saying quite a bit.
It's giving Ashton Kutcher stepping down from...
Yeah, well, he should.
Yeah, what was that one?
That was Thorne. After he supported Danny Masterson.
Gosh. And then you mentioned too, there's other businesses that are involved, not just Revolt TV. Obviously, Diddy having a huge portfolio of different companies. Many. What's going to happen with them? And we even saw this too, like when Kanye kind of got mixed up in everything that he did. Yeah. We saw contracts, we saw partnerships get pulled. Mm-hmm. You know, Macy's had already planned to pull Sean John from their stores, but what else is going to be pulled from shelves? You talk about things like Ciroc or De Leon Tequila. Like our corporation is going to say, well, we're not going to sell that in stores because of...
It's possible. I still think more people, though.
We need more people.
Yeah.
Gosh.
So that's the update with Diddy.
Psycho.
We'll see what happens next. Yeah.
And then in sad news.
Kind of sad news. Well, not sad, but he's spending time. Mark Cuban is... I was just watching Shark Tank on my...
Love it.
On my flight home. Yeah. Love Shark Tank. He's leaving after 16 seasons. He's going to do it one more year. And yeah, he announced it. He was talking on a podcast for Showtime. It's called All the Smoke. He was talking to a couple other podcasters and said that he's going to go ahead and step away. And he loved his time there, obviously. He's invested so many businesses over the years. He really feels like they've given advice and he's led entrepreneurs and it's just a good lives. Time. Yeah, truly. Yeah.
I just loved him as a character.
I love him. He's so good.
Shark Tank. He felt like a very relatable billionaire that would get up there and almost like a dad figure. You know, kind of like they'd be like, you know what? I love you, but I'm out. Yeah. You know, and you're like, okay. Still love you, Mark.
I really love that cast all together. Yeah. They're all really good.
They're fire.
He did recommend another person though, which is Emma.
I don't know how to.
Emma Grady.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's the co-founder of a lot of the Kardashian businesses, including Skims and Good American, which is Khloe's jean brand. So that's who he recommends. That doesn't mean that's who's going to replace him, but it's kind of nice to have a little backing, though. She's guest hosted before.
I don't know if this is the same woman. I'm thinking it is, but I recently saw a little TikTok, a little clip.
She was just on Jay Shetty's podcast, if that's what you saw.
Maybe, I don't know. But basically it was all about how she kind of came to like her whole career. And she's like one of my new like favorite people.
Yeah, I really want to listen to this full podcast.
I think it is her.
And because in that podcast she talks about with Jay Shetty, she just talks about like it's okay to be selfish and go after things that you want to do. And she admits to a lot of her failures because most people do talk about only the good things. So it's cool to just have someone be a little bit more authentic and, you know, honest with that too. We get rejected a lot to have success.
Yeah, she sounds dope.
Yeah, she does sound really cool.
If I remember her story, I feel like they said that she like didn't like I don't know if she ended up graduating from college or didn't, and then like worked at Gucci, like somehow got an internship there, and then that's where she like took off from. Yeah. And I'm like, sounds sick.
Yeah, yeah.
I wonder if she's married.
Oh my god.
Just kidding. But I think that actually wraps it up for this episode, right?
Yes, it does. For more updates, at Playing Telephone on Instagram and TikTok, and full episodes on YouTube.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.